Welcome to a sheep staring at me playing D&D. Not episode 4. No, not actually. But what the hell is this? Klara, do tell people what the fuck is this?
Well, this is the special episode of What Was the
First,
Elf Up To? Who's Lucienne?
we're gonna find
Why
out,
is Lucienne?
or are we? I don't know. Yeah. I've just noticed you've got your whole name down there. If you're okay with
Well,
that.
yeah.
You can keep it that way. You can change it. I don't care. But
Well, the only real mistake in there is that people see the really creative inspiration of my character name being my middle name.
actually, I don't even know if we were inspired by that,
And
hilariously.
I forgot
Wasn't it
to.
just
Hello,
wasn't it
autism and
just
ADHD.
wasn't it just a random thing I said? Wasn't it actually a Brienne of Tarth reference? You got to figure out why, people. But yeah,
Who
at
knows?
least on my account it was.
On my account, it was my middle name, but here we are.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at Brienne of Tarth.
could be too there. I had a very long day of talking to very strange people at work, so well, anyways, why is this fun? Why is this weird? Because we're the original weirdos who did the podcast, the original podcast, not the D&D podcast, what we're doing now, but yay. So, um, and yeah, because Klara can't usually make the Thursday appointment that the rest of us have, um, or is too tired, or is just busy. We were like, well, we did start the story, the character exists. We're just gonna, well, and I can already tell you, Klara, if you've just planned with one session, that's not gonna fucking work.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, good. So,
For better, for worse, I know what I agreed to.
you've known me for a while, so
I
well, anyways, where do we start? I guess we do just start. By the way, on Thursday, we're gonna be back just to the next episode of, as far as I know, right now, we're just gonna be back to the next episode of the others, the other group. Um, yeah. And whenever we find time, we're gonna continue whatever we're doing today. So don't know what that's going to be, how that's going to be, if that's going to be. It will be, but the rest, who knows? Is it noticeable that work just activated my ADHD? It's
Yeah.
not good. I'll try to speak in a way that people can actually follow me. Um, okay.
Present company excluded from the definition of people.
I don't even consider yourself people anymore. Like,
See?
fucking hell. Um, okay, we're starting. Um, in a room in an inn, and you, Lucienne, are waking up. The light that's coming through the window is, well, the light of a mid-morning, I'd say. Um, but it seems strange. There's sounds of the sea around, not directly near you, but there's definitely a port not far away. You can hear that. Um, you don't know the room you're in.
Oh joy.
Immediately, do you want to give me a perception check, please?
Yeah, sure.
Or an insight check or a history check? Let's go with
Insight's
perception
good.
first. Let's go with perception first, maybe.
Okay. 19.
Nice. Um, you're used to kind of Spartan rooms. Like even if they are relatively posh or those of rich people, to this compared to this they seem Spartan. This is not a grand room. This is a still very obviously a room in an inn. This is a room that people come in, come out of. It's not a fancy place, and that's obvious, but it's also there's more care in the details. There's a lot of details. The wardrobe's got little blue birds on it and like almost Eastern style looking. Um, I don't know if you know like the Russian style things a little bit. Stuff like that. There's details of what's it called? Stuck, basically on the walls
Yeah.
out and in the corners of the room, on the ceiling. Um, there's just little details all around. The windows are, well, they're not to the ground. They're still normal windows, but they are, well, they almost seem like they're made for a dollhouse, but in big, like to size, but they're so fragile looking. Nobody at home would have these windows. They're not functional. I mean, they are, but not really. And the bed you're lying on, too soft, much too soft. And you're used to soft beds, but this is too soft. What do you do?
Do I notice any physical symptoms of anything? Do I have pains or aches somewhere?
Hmm, I'm thinking. Just, um, do you just want to give me a constitution check? Like a straight constitution check?
17.
Okay. No, you're fine.
Okay, that's something at
You
least.
you seem it kind of even feels like it's the first time in a while that you've actually slept enough. And just logically thinking, that means you must have slept for days because
Mm.
it's just you did not have enough sleep for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's suspicious then. I get up.
Do you want to give me a history check at this point?
Indeed. 7.
You have no idea why the fuck you're here. There is a blank of, well, might be days, might be weeks, might be years, you don't know. But to be honest, that's not strange for you, is it?
Yeah. It's annoying, is what it is.
Like
But
it feels similar to if you try to remember your family. Um, it's just, it's just almost there, but it's so far away at the same time. Now frustrated, what do you do?
frustrated about that all too familiar feeling about almost there and the faint taste of something, taste being metaphorical. I walk to the window and look outside.
Yeah. Um, do you look for something specific or do you just look?
First, I just want to get my bearings and look what I see. And if anything specific
Okay.
jumps out at
So
me.
I think the perception was at 19, wasn't it? So it's still incredible. And I think that would still work. You look outside and you do see what looks like a port a bit away, but it's like you're on a bit of a hill looking slightly down, and the windows open to the outside, you know, open out, and looking out, you see a bustling port town. Not really a town, it's a city. It's bigger than the place you're from what you can see. Also, from what you can see is there's, um, well, the people are wearing different clothes. It's immediately you notice it's warmer. Um, so they're not dressed against the rain and the wind like you would be used to. Um, you can still hear common being spoken downstairs outside, but also other languages. You can also see other peoples. You can see quite a bunch of tieflings walking around. Um, and here and there, a Kenku, something else, someone else. Um, More dwarves than you're used to as well. But, well, you're not near the mountains, but it's near the water. Um, Thinking, what kind of check do you think is useful to figure out where you are, if you could?
Inside?
Do you have a proficiency in history?
Yep.
Then do another history check for specifically for this.
17.
Better. Um, but you've I think to give you the exact location would be 17 is not high enough for that one. But you're definitely not in not on the same continent you were on. You're not you're not on Thorum, you're on Thierlan. That much you know, and you also know that you're to the very east of it. Um, this has to be the Silver Coast. I don't think you've been here before, but you've certainly heard of it. Um, there's bustling towns, it's flourishing trade. And if you think back home in Nye, the trade is good, it's good, but this is incredible. This is better. And markets, you know, getting an orange from a market that's almost fresh. But here you can get them from a tree. And well, you wouldn't really know in which of the cities you are, but you do know there's three big cities across the coast. One higher up north, um, that would be Anderbutras. One to the very south, and that would be the warmest of them as well, Flosso. Um, and then one in the middle that is kind of special because it's both on the river that feeds into Tierlan from the sea, but it's on the river, but it's also near the sea. It's like at the mouth of the river, and it's also to both sides of the river. It's kind of a little bit like in France. Well, and I've forgotten what the city is called again. Le Havre. It's a little like Le Havre would be. It's kind of like you're very near. all kinds of water, but also the special thing about this third city is that it's on both sides of the river and partially on the river. Um, it's called Vagneux. Above table, side note, guess who that's named after? It's called Vagneux.
Oh, yeah.
Just, yeah. Yeah, named a fucking city after me.
I mean, once you get the chance.
Yeah.
Do I see a river?
You see a port, or what looks like, a port is a huge situation. You see what is probably a domestic port. There's wharfs. You can't see any specific ones right now, but they're there, and you know it. Um, yeah, I don't think you would see a river.
Okay. Do I have my personal things with me? Or am I just sitting around in stuff that doesn't belong to me, as far as I
No,
know?
I think your clothes you definitely have. Um, I don't know about your weapons. I think you might have the smaller ones. Like if you have daggers, you probably have them. But if there's anything bigger, I think it's not on your person, obviously. But if you look around, you will find what kind of weapon do you have again?
A sword,
Sword?
crossbow, mace.
Then I think those would probably be leaning against a wall on the side, and you didn't notice when you got up. Everything seems to be there,
Okay, that's good.
just not you where you were.
All my things in a place where I did not expect us to be. Right. I take all of my things and is the door locked?
No, it's
Okay.
open.
Yeah. I want to check the wardrobe just because I'm curious. Who knows?
You open the wardrobe, and you know how, like, if you rent a flat or something somewhere for a holiday, and there's like blankets in there, and there's some hangers, but there's just not much in there except for assume you were wearing a cape. Were you wearing or what
Yeah, sure.
or a whatever, whatever outer garb you had is hanging in there.
I put that on as well.
If you go in the sun,
Wait,
you
wait.
have to
I
do
look out the window again
constitution.
and put the cape back or in my bag. I remember the warmer clothes that people wore and remember I'm not where I'm used to be.
Yeah. I was gonna say if you do put that on and you go in the sun, you will have to make a constitution saving throw because
Well,
ah,
I do this very true to life.
yeah.
No, I put it in my pocket though. Roll it up,
Okay.
stuff it somewhere. Who knows
You
what will happen to the
I
inn?
think I think you do have your bag.
Yeah,
It's probably not a bag of holding, but you have a bag.
the cape should fit.
I think so. And I think what could probably also be the case is if it's a backpack of some sort of a rucksack, you can just kind of do what you do with like hiking bags where you use your clothes, where you can kind of like roll up whatever jacket you're wearing and just put it there and kind of fixate it to the top of it. So,
I'll do that.
yeah.
And then I'll leave the room
Okay.
through the door.
I guessed. Um, Immediately coming out, you smell there's food being cooked. Um, there's food, whatever breakfast foods you can imagine, that's being cooked downstairs. Um, and you hear a rustling and bustling from to your right, where there's stairs. Um, and uh, well, she's not quite middle-aged yet, woman, uh, comes up the stairs and goes, "Oh, you're awake. Oh, well, that took a while."
Did it? I say vaguely.
Um, yeah, well, you were asleep for 2 days that you were here, and I assume more, but like, well, my friend Red, he found you in the well near the wharf, but and you were fine, but I don't know
I was
why,
fine,
how.
but asleep,
Yes, well, fine-ish.
considering.
But well, you weren't robbed. That was obvious.
That's good.
So we made sure you weren't robbed for a while later. Anyways, do you want
Thank you for
food?
that.
You should want food, right? You want food? Oh,
Yes,
come on.
yes, I
And
want
she
food.
she kind of walks forward and kind of goes downstairs. And there's a there's kind of a desk there, like in a hotel or whatever, and there's room numbers and keys behind them. Typical hotel kind of thing. Um, and this woman, by the way, she's a tiefling, and yeah, light pink skin and kind of goat's horns, and yeah, kind of runs, not doesn't run, but goes forward and kind of leads you to a side door um, that has kind of a it's not a restaurant, but it's like an eating hall room thing.
I follow her.
She just leads you to a table and she's like, "So, what do you want? A bit of everything? I don't know."
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Okay. And she leaves the room and just you can kind of hear her shouting at someone and then a very confused almost still teenager kind of comes in with like a lot of things um and puts really down most kind of breakfast items you've seen. There's some ham, there's some bread, there's some jam, tea, all kinds of things. And some strange brew that smells a bit more bitter than tea and is a bit darker as well. Um, don't know if you've ever seen coffee before, but yeah.
All right. I guess I'll start eating. And
Okay.
while I'm eating, I want to listen to the people that I assume are around me and eating as well. Or am I
I
alone?
think I think there's maybe one older gentleman kind of in a corner with a newspaper. Um, he's not talking, he's reading and having a cup of tea. Otherwise there's nobody there anymore.
Okay.
Seems like it's mid-morning, um, and most people have already eaten, or if they haven't eaten yet, they are probably skipping breakfast. And yeah,
Is there a date on the gentleman's newspaper that I can see from here?
no. He's on the other side of the room as well.
Okay.
And also, don't do that to me. I don't know what year it is right now. I'm not that far in the world building.
Well, I would have accepted it's 3 months later than the last date you remember.
It's no.
I do not know at the moment.
I
Okay.
mean, you do know you've been asleep at least for 2 days in this establishment.
Yeah. Well, as there's a lack of people to listen to, I'm gonna ask the woman or the teenager, whoever comes by first, what city I'm in.
I think when you're almost done with food, the woman comes back and oh well, oh you're almost done. That's good. Do you need any with that? Do you need any more, or are you?
I don't need food or drink anymore, thank you. But I do have a question, and I do not want to unsettle you, but in what
Oh
city am
right.
I?
Oh yeah, that. Um, Wagner. I do
Lovely.
hope you've heard of it. So
I have.
good. Phew, at least that. Um, I was gonna say I was quite rude. Well, didn't ex I don't even know what's your name. I'm Garwin.
Lucienne.
Oh, good. A name to the face, face to the name. Great. That's wonderful. Have you got any clue how you ended up here?
No, not any clue, I'm
Well,
afraid.
that's inconvenient for you, not for me. I don't really care. Not that I don't care. I do care. I just, you know what I mean. And she's obviously flustered.
I watch her interestedly. I don't dislike her, but for the moment I'm not up to chattering, and she's quite amusing. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean it as me, Lucienne.
I do I do know what you mean. I think
I
I'm just
smile very lightly.
okay.
Imagine a sort of data-esque look, data next
I I
generation.
am
This
I am absolutely imagining exactly that. And you can to continue with that reference, you can kind of imagine her being as like lost as Julian Bashir. That's a lot lost.
Oh, yes. Lost and lovable, but lost. Well, I reassure her that she was not rude at all to me. Don't worry, usually you expect your guests to know where they are, I suppose. I
Well,
am a
you're not
singular case after all.
well, there you can say twice. Well, technically you're not, but
What do you mean? I'm not a singular case.
well, I do assume that I might could technically know something, but I'm not sure if it's a knowing or it's just an assuming. So I wasn't gonna say anything, but now I have, so I have to. Anyways, um, well, there's a slave trade happening these days a lot. It's not legal. It's underground, but it's happening. And people know it, and some people are trying to stop it, some people aren't. Well, you know how that kind of stuff goes. Anyways, I kind of assume that maybe they left you somewhere, but I don't know why they would do that. Do you know why
Hmm.
they would do that?
No idea. No.
Um,
At this point, I don't even know if that would be a good or a bad thing.
um, at this point, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Um, well, I got a 1.
Oh dear. That one.
Nat 1. Well, with bonuses, it would be a 3, but
Nah, it's a
nat
nat
1.
one. You get a blinding headache, and it feels like your head's gonna explode any moment. And it well, it would take everything you have to keep the food in, but you don't have anything, so that's not gonna work. So I think you probably
Yeah.
let go of a bunch of that again. Um, and also you have a glimpse of a very strict looking, well, in your memory, you have a glimpse of a very strict looking, very tall, blonde, blue-eyed elf, um, that looks at you like you've just killed his favorite pet.
Hmm.
And a very bad feeling with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And Garwin immediately when you puke goes, "Oh, oh, was that too much? I'm so sorry. Uh, I don't know what
uh,
for, but
no, it wasn't the breakfast. I don't think it was. To be honest,
I
I have
didn't
no
mean that.
idea.
I didn't mean that either. But the memories can be a triggering
Oh, right.
thing. Well, I guess I'm gonna get someone to clean that up. And she kind of bustles away again. And before she leaves the room, she kind of puts her head back in, almost hits a hole on the door, um, and goes, "Oh, you could go down to the wharf if you need a walk. I assume you probably do. Oh, also, I'm going to leave you a tonic, like a headache potion thing on the desk. You can have that. Just take it. It's fine. Go to the wharf. Maybe you can find Red, because, well, he'd know more. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, but it's a chance."
Thank you.
And then she leaves. Before you can say thank you, she
I expected as much. Is the headache still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Until you take a tonic against
yes.
it, it
Well,
is
then
there.
I take the tonic. Otherwise, I would have, bagged it for later.
Oh, you
No,
will
I
need
take
that.
it.
Yeah, I don't think you since I didn't take any HP from you, I'm not gonna add any, but you can imagine that it's probably 2 HP that left with that headache and that are just back now. Yeah. Okay. Do you just go outside?
I want to look if Red, what did you say?
Rid, rid,
Red. If he's,
RYD.
yeah. I want to see if Red is somewhere around.
She did say at the wolf.
Oh, thought you meant in the house.
No, at the wolf.
Well, then I go to the wolf.
Um, it's, outside, well, out of the door. Um, I think sort of to the right. I am confusing myself, but I think sort of to the right. And down the hill, and immediately, there's more people. It's a paved road as well. It's not a road, but it's kind of a street. like you have it in old kind of towns.
Mm.
Um, it's
So
paved street.
cobblestones and all.
Yes, absolutely. Cobblestones. Um, and yeah, smaller cobblestones that kind of go away, and then there's bigger cobblestones because they're more practical. Um, and you can notice immediately walking down, the sea air gets a bit more. It's almost like having salt on your tongue just by breathing. And before you know it, you can see the wharf, what is unmistakably the wharf that she meant, because, well, it's the nearest one.
Yeah, I go there. I go the rest of the way. I do look around if people look at me funny, because
Oh,
this is where I was found, obviously, and
nope.
uh,
Nobody looks.
okay.
Nobody's looking at all. Like maybe, the way that people look if they pass someone on the street, maybe because you are wearing armor that isn't exactly from here. So people are probably looking at you like, oh, cool. Or and there's a little girl that kind of oh, I want that kind of armor, mommy. And kind of is a bit too far away from her mum, and gets called back. The Renna, come on.
Oh,
And yeah. And then otherwise it's just people. It's not.
well, I
And
keep
they
being
do.
careful.
Yeah. What I wanted to add, they do look like they've been shopping, which isn't too unusual if you were the wolf.
Yeah, I go further towards the wharf,
Yeah.
keeping my
Um,
eyes peeled.
you would see that there is well, a smaller ship. It's a merchant vessel. There, right there. It's not too it's not too big a ship, so it doesn't have to use the proper channels essentially. Um, it can go to the smaller side wharfs. It doesn't have to send smaller boats or anything. Um, and that's towed there and towed there. Words, strange things. Um, and yeah, you can see that there's some sailors kind of walking about, existing. Um, some merchants. Well, they're merchant sailors, I'd say. But some people that are obviously more sailor and some people that are obviously more merchant. Um, and there's some people that are obviously people who work at the wharf. Um, because you can see that the guys from the ship are not necessarily dressed like the people here are. And the work clothes of the people at the wharf, they're lighter than maybe at home they would be. Because again, it's sunny.
Weather.
Yeah. And they don't have to cover up against extreme wind or rain all the time. So yeah. And the nearer you get, the better you can hear a voice shouting, um, not mean-spiritedly, like more
Hmm.
like you idiot, what are you doing? That's that type of thing. In a Scottish accent that I can't do. Um, um, and when you come around a crate, that's a bit too high, you can see it's a relatively young dwarf, um, brown hair, um, almost like for a dwarf, almost no beard. He isn't shaven, but he like from his hair and beard, he almost looks human. He has short hair and he has a short beard, which strange, but okay. Um, and he's obviously wearing, well, he's still wearing the kind of uniform of the people at the wharf, which is just work clothes, but his are a little fancier and he's got a jacket on as well. And yeah,
I assume he does not seem familiar to me.
for the fun of it, hmm, do you want to give me a history check?
Yeah.
Just for the fun of it? Or to say if anybody here seems familiar to you, not just him. Is that a net 20 or what?
No. No.
Okay, good.
It's still passed, I suppose, but
You don't
give my
know.
calculatory abilities 1 second. Oh, 18. I don't have a bonus on that. That should have gone faster.
You don't know anybody here.
Oh,
By
okay.
the way, to really know somebody here, the DC would have been 20. So
Yeah.
basically impossible. But you do know the clothes that the people on the merchant vessel are wearing, or off the merchant vessel are wearing, are clothes of Peli. So it's the same country as yours, but it's not where you were last. I'm just trying to remember if you were from Brunei or Peli originally. One of them. I know
One of
that.
them.
But yeah, it's the same country. It's still a city directly at the sea, but it's far away from here. So they're dressed like home, but you don't know any of them.
Do I see what they trade in?
Um, I'd say cloth mostly.
Hmm.
So some done clothes already, but also mostly cloth. This is not a ship big enough for spices, I'd say.
Can I overhear what they're saying? I stay behind the crate while I'm watching and listening because I'm suspicious.
Who specifically?
Mm, if he's close enough, the dwarf?
He's just shouting at like one of his hands. Not one of his hands, but like at one of the not ships but Worf's hands, I guess. Um, I just always have to think of a Klingon saying that. I'm so sorry. It's
Me
not
too.
good.
Me too.
Why did us decide on so many coastal cities? Ah. Anyways, not even that many cities, but somehow we picked those. Um, anyways, he's just kind of shouting at one of the hands to do his work properly. And from what you can hear, he managed to knot a knot wrong and fuck it up and almost lost like a lot of stuff, a bunch of crates, and almost a ship. So he's right being screamed at from what you can
Okay.
hear. Um, the others, the merchant sailors, some of them are talking cloth with some people who are kind of just carousing, who seem absolutely normal. Um, and some of them are just kind of existing. You can hear one playing the fiddle, a bit away, um, on the ship. But yeah, it seems very business as usual. You would know this
Okay.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You
So
were
I don't
never,
overhear anything about, let's say, a sleeping elf on the wharf.
nope. I mean, um, no, you don't.
Do I know whether they would be from a region that does employ in slave trade? So basically, how trustworthy are they to me right now?
Oh, you mean the people from your
Yeah, the
home
ship.
country? It's not legal. It's not
Yeah, but
legal in this place. It's not legal at home, and this is a tiny merchant vessel.
mm,
These people, like, there's barely space for the cloth and the people on the ship. Um, there is no slaves there. It's not the
mm.
kind of vessel that would be doing that. They would probably just spit at your feet if you even suggested it to them.
Well, that's good then, because I know it's illegal, but
People still do it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well then, I approach the people, the dwarf.
Okay.
I do look at the others too, because if
Just
one
to
of
see
them
if
just
there's a
looked at me
reaction.
as if they
Yeah,
recognized me, that would be a giveaway of something.
none of them are. Um, but you approach the dwarf until you stand right behind him, and he's still shouting, and he doesn't seem to stop.
I say, "Excuse you."
Well, excuse
Oh,
yourself.
sorry.
Or
I
to say,
say,
excuse yourself.
"Sorry, I was asleep." Well, that was a Freudian slip. I didn't I didn't mean to make, but now it's canon. I'm sorry,
Oh,
sir. May I start anew? Excuse
oh,
me.
you're awake.
Oh, you know me.
Uh, You were at Gavin's place, weren't you?
Yes. Yes, I was.
How are you getting more posh? Sorry. How?
It's a defense mechanism. Look at my hands. I'm all defenseless. I went into T-Rex mode because I scared myself by saying, "Excuse you." Why is my elf posh and socially anxious? Because I am posh and socially anxious. I know
I
the
was gonna
answer.
say, um, where was I?
He knows me. He knows I was at the inn. He knew me asleep.
Ah, yeah. I'm Red.
Greetings.
Uh, Red Rundle.
Sorry.
He's called Red Rundle.
Oh, I assume you know who I am. Well, if you only knew me sleeping, my name is Lucienne.
Ah, good to have a face and a name.
Face to
Well,
the name,
that
name to the
that
face.
sort of
Yes, I've heard it.
situation. You did meet Gavin, then, did you?
I did, I did.
Um, well, I'm sorry. It's an odd situation. You were just
That's
asleep, and then, well, no, you're not. But like, you weren't there. Then you
which is
were,
the
and then you
usual
weren't.
way living beings do sleep, but not in so long a time.
Especially not elves, is it? You
No,
don't really
actually,
sleep.
Actually, it's quite an unusual situation for me, but it's not like I've never been asleep. I am familiar with the sensation, just not habitually. And
Pointy-eared
not as long.
weirdos. He just called you pointy-eared weirdo. Okay,
I gloss over
just
it
saying.
for now because I can't risk making enemies just by being affronted.
He kind of awkwardly laughs, and I hope this character understands that I'm terrible at a Scottish accent, apparently. Damn it. Um, could have just made him could have just made him Irish. Would have been
Yeah.
easier. But no, he's not.
All dwarves are
Um,
Scottish.
yeah, somehow they are. I don't know why.
Well, I ask him how long I was asleep, if he knows any
Well, I
more than,
well, I picked you
you
up
know, who.
two days ago. Well, two and a bit.
Oh, right, you were the one.
Ah, she did. She did tell you then. Oh,
She
that's
did. She did say, yes, but you see, now I have a face to the name and name to the
and a name to
face.
the face. Yes.
That was you. Right. I had hoped someone around here would know more than
Well,
you. Sorry.
well, I know as much as I know, and I don't know what I know. So,
So, you know, I was asleep for 2 days and you found me on the wharf.
yeah. And there were your weapons next to you. Everything.
Well, is sleep always done in so uncomfortable ground? That is a joke in character. I am joking.
Wait, what? What?
I
Well,
smirked down at
usually,
him.
well, yeah. Elves and your weird jokes.
Well,
Well,
one has to cope with the situation somehow.
I guess so. Um, well, what are you planning to do?
Basically, finding out what happened.
Well, well, could take you a while. Not trying to get
At this
home.
point, I don't know if I want to know, but
Hmm.
do I have a choice? I mean, yes, I do, but one tends to want to know why one wakes up in unknown places.
Just looking at the map, and I was wondering, where the fuck is the coast? And I had it upside down.
Yeah.
I made that map. It was a long weekend. Well,
Sometimes we build our own purgatories.
I am my own purgatory. Fuck's sake. Anyways, what do you want to do?
Well, I thank him for the information so far and ask him whether there's anyone around that could know more. I mean, I've little hope of that, but asking can't hurt.
Well, I wouldn't go and ask. Wait. Can you give me a persuasion check? Not because he doesn't want to give you any info, but to see how much.
15.
I wouldn't go as far and as asking the city guard. They're meh.
Mm.
Well, they're all right in a scuffle, but if you're not in a scuffle, they're quite no. Anyways, I wouldn't really ask them, but I maybe ask the people of the Benevola.
Thank you.
Do you want to do a history
Well,
check to figure out if you know what the Benevola is or who?
yeah, so far I
Yeah.
just assumed it was a ship, but
Nope. Well, maybe you think so, but
4.
it's a ship.
Okay. Has he left yet?
Nope.
Otherwise,
No,
I'm
he
gonna
hasn't.
ask him.
He's at work. He's not gonna leave. You're gonna leave.
Yeah,
So,
I ask him where might I find this Benevola?
oh, the Benevola. She's the leader of the city.
Oh,
She's well, Perennelia Bonari is the name technically, but she's the Benevola. She's you know,
and where might I find her?
well, you can't just waltz in. She's
Hmm?
well, I don't know how it works. Otherwise, you you could assume outside of character, you could assume that that the Benevola is now that you've been told she's the leader. She's like well, not a mayor, but higher, maybe princess, something like that. She's a big fucking deal. So you can't just walk into an audience with a queen of some sort.
Well, is there anyone in between I could ask?
Well, yes, her people. You could go to the well, you need to go to the other side of the city to well, the other side of the well, uh, the water. Well, not that water, that water. Um, he points at the river, obviously having forgotten the word river. Um, well, you'll need to go over there. There's not really elves here. They're over there. Usually. Anyways, the well, I'm wait a second. The Villa of the Benevola is over there. Oh, before you're confused, Villa is just what we call the palace. It's a big fucking place.
Well, and here on the wharf, you have no idea who could know more.
Maybe the fishes. You were almost sleeping with the fishes, anyways. Um,
Indeed.
well, and if ships could talk, things would be easier.
Well, I thank him and leave.
And he shouts, "Good luck!" after you
Thanks.
come back, tell me what how it goes,
Sure.
went, something.
I want to look around the wharf a little bit more. So I do want to go to the other side, but I want to look around a bit before I leave
Hmm.
and just see if, well, as always, if anyone looks at me funny, but also if I see anything that seems suspicious.
Nope, it's a wolf.
Nothing.
There's people.
Yeah.
It's normal.
And I assume I hear no talk of a sleeping elf on the wharf.
Do you want to give me another perception check or insight? I don't. Well,
I
perception is probably
do,
more.
I do. 14?
You do hear some wolf shit, some hands kind of snickering. Um, and you do hear the words elf lady asleep in the snickering. Um, Otherwise, they're basically boys. Yeah,
Yeah, do they seem malevolent?
they're boys. That's not an answer, is it?
Oh, it's enough of an answer. Do they see me right now?
Yeah, they're looking at you. They're not looking at you like looking at you, but they're looking at you.
Oh, well, there goes my opportunity to scare them. Just a little.
And you could assume that, I mean, they've probably been looking at you for a while. You just didn't
Yeah.
notice.
I ask, you mean this elf lady?
Um, and one, he's a halfling, just gets scared so much that
Oh no.
he almost falls into the water. Like he's like, "Ugh," and then kind of catches himself by catching his friend's arm and just kind of tugging himself forwards. Well, sorry. Well, nothing happens here, which is a weird thing to say at a wolf, but nothing happens here.
It's okay, lad. You don't happen to know where I came from before I lay here sleeping.
Well, clothes-wise, I'd say same place as those guys. Points at the ship.
Well, you watch everything that goes on around here?
Between 7 and 3, and then I go home. But also sometimes I don't watch, sometimes I do have to work. So
Oh, what do you work as?
he just looks at you. He is wearing the uniform as the of the wolf. It's very obvious what he works as.
Well, there goes my opportunity to show interest in what the youth does. Um, have you seen anything suspicious lately,
Well, other than you,
other than me?
well,
More
you
suspicious than me,
were you sleeping, but
and not anything weird
nope.
before or after.
I mean, there was a parrot a week ago that was cursing people out in Orcish, which is a weird thing. Um, there was a sea monster a few months back, which, well, turns out was just lonely. Um, some ships didn't survive that. Anyways,
So,
and he seems, well, nothing else, basically.
well, that overcomplicates matters slightly.
Well, I mean, there's probably things going on, but I'm only here between 7 and 3, so I don't know. Nothing suspicious ever
So,
happens in the daytime. Ever.
so you just saw me lying on the wharf, the same as other people 2 days ago.
Well, I got Mr. Rundle.
Oh, that was you.
Well, I was the other state. I went, well, anyways.
So you found me actually.
No. And he points at his friend.
So you found me actually, I said to his friend.
Fred just gets he's a human boy and he gets so flustered. Um and the halfling just goes, elves don't usually talk to us. Um so we don't really know how to.
Well, you're doing a good job at it so far.
Mhm. Well, in the city, there's rules to talk to elves, and we're allowed to talk to them, but there's rules.
Oh dear. Can I assume from what I've heard that I just appeared here during the night? I could have appeared here, but
I mean, nothing suspicious ever happens during the day.
yeah. Okay, I thank the boys and move on
Okay.
towards the other side of the river.
You'll have to walk quite a while, and I'd say let's take a quick break. You okay with that?
Yep.
And we're back. Yay. Um, okay, you want to go to the other side of the river.
Yes.
Um, do you do so stealthily?
More or less. Yeah.
Okay, do you want
So
to thinking?
so I don't want to just waltz over without taking care of.
You have to, so basically, um, from what you notice very quickly, you have to walk basically through half of the city to get to the other half of the city. Um, and you can also kind of not really cross over the river right at the mouth of the sea because logic. So you are going to have to kind of walk basically across the city to cross over with a bridge probably. And yeah, so you're going to have to walk all through the what you now could assume is the poorer part of town, or the maybe they're not poorer, they're just not elves, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, so well, you're an elf. Do you do you want to give me a stealth check? No, just to figure out how clanky you are.
19.
Okay, you're mostly fine. I'd say some other folk, I don't know, maybe a grumpy dwarf comes out of a tavern that you walk past and spits to your feet and goes, "Bloody elves." And just, that you notice quickly just by walking through this place that people are maybe scared of elves, sometimes don't really know what to do with elves, and sometimes just at this point have blind hatred for them. Um, Probably with reason. Usually that sort of thing isn't without reason. Um, but yeah, there isn't any incidents, I'd say, but you know. Um, you started walking mid to late morning. Um, and hmm, this is a weird check to do in the middle of a city, but can you give me a survival check?
18.
Okay, so you get through pretty quickly, but um, it's still a bustling city, and there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of people working. It's the middle of the day. Um, it's just really fucking busy. So you do kind of what you feel is get through the city okay, like at a respectable pace. but you're still on foot. It's up and down because, of course, it bloody well is. Um, and people are busy, don't really look out for you, and so it takes you, I'd say, until early afternoon to even get out anywhere near the river, and it probably takes you about half an hour longer to get to a bridge or to see a bridge that you might be able to cross. It looks very fancy. It looks like it can only be walked, and it's kind of a white crisscross situation on the side. There's city guard standing in front of it, two to each side, um, dressed, two in proper plate mail, um, two dressed more in ceremonial wear, but even they are wearing chainmail and having ceremonial foofs on their head, kind of very centurion like.
Hmm.
Um, and the two in the middle have a halberd each. And you can be very sure if you approach them, they will close the gap with halberds and just kind of cross them. Right now, they're just standing there.
Well, I am for a moment entertaining the possibility of just going back to the inn, but oh well. I approach them.
Okay. Um, they do cross the halberds. Um, and one with the ceremonial foofs on the head um, goes, "Who goes there?"
Lucienne,
Well, who the bloody hell is that?
well, wouldn't I like to know?
Well, that's convenient. And he has not looked up. So he's kind of not looked at you. He's just not looked at you at all. Um, do you walk into his line of sight or
For now, no. I I say, well, if you've heard of an elf lady found sleeping at the dwarf, that's a dwarf. Yes, that too.
at the Dwarven Wharf?
Yes. If you've heard of an elf lady being found sleeping at the wharf, that's me, and I don't know how I got there, but I'd like answers.
I
So,
heard of no dwarves or elves with dwarves or wharfs.
as weird as this question might sound to you, you don't know where I come from.
Well, I assume the usual place.
What is the
I
usual place?
do I and
I ask him.
another of them without the foof, but with a halberd, kind of turns his head, and you can hear because he's wearing a helmet, you can hear an awful screeching sound. Like it's not supposed, like it's you're not moving in this. Um,
Ugh.
going, do we have to give you the talk?
Well, if it would explain anything, yes, but no thanks. Um, I know as much.
And he then he the guy who did
Who
that
screeched around?
Yeah. He's now looking at you. Still holding the halberd, but looking at you. And you get the feeling he probably can't move his head back. Um, um, but he looks at you and he's like, "Oh, wait, you're an elf.
Yes.
Well, why are we doing that then? There's not usually elves over there. That didn't come from there."
Well, I did
And
tell you about being found at the wharf.
well, people tell a lot of things. And then he kind of wants to take back the halberd, and the other guy hasn't computed yet. And they're kind of haggling with the halberds for a second. Am I doing a comedy movie? Um, feels like it. Um, and get themselves sorted quite quickly. And then he's like, well, now I'm gonna have to figure out how to get my head back. And with like a very bad screeching sound once again, he goes back to looking forwards, um, hands the halberd to the guy next to him, and has to kind of shout at him to take it because he can't look either. Does take it, and then he kind of just takes off the helmet. Again, screeching sound and clanking, and takes a moment. And when he's gotten it, he just kind of tries to put it under his arm, try to seem cool, failing miserably. Um, this is a this is an elf. He's very tall, um, high elf, dark hair, dark eyes, kind of a very thin nose, um, and high cheekbones. And he looks like he's probably like nobility of some sort, but he's probably just logically, if he's standing here, he's probably the third son of a third son of something. So, well, what'd you say your name was?
Lucienne.
Good. Lucienne. Lucienne what? Uh, if you
Well,
know.
yes, aye, there's the rub. I do not.
That's not convenient, is it? Um,
No, but that's not a new problem.
how's that a new what?
See, I arrived at the wharf, sleeping. I awoke in an inn, awake,
You woke
and
awake.
yes, as one does, I assume you're as unfamiliar with sleep as I am. So
Well,
that's what they do,
well, after
sleeping.
a couple of pints too many. It's pretty nice.
I
Can't tell
assume,
people, but
yes.
you know. Um,
And but
hmm.
and I didn't know where I was before. Well, I know where I was last, but I
Mhm.
didn't know how I got here. But even at the point which I remember from before, there were moments where I didn't remember where I came from. While talking, I am aware that it might not be the wisest to tell a stranger basically my life story or not life story, but as discombobulating as it is, I don't think it matters. See, it's quite simple. There are my current memory problems, and then there are the memory problems that I remember from before. So
So you have a lot of memory problems, is it?
I assume, yes,
Where
I
you?
think so.
So you're not from here. Where you from?
I'm from
No.
Nye.
Well, Lucienne, from Nye. You and Night.
Not quite. I'm a cleric.
Ah, of whom?
Scapandi.
Don't say that too loudly around here.
Okay.
Um, okay. Can you do an insight check, please?
5.
Something's up with this guy. He seems
I.
like in the sense of he's reacting like you react if you see someone you know and you know you shouldn't know,
Mhm.
or they shouldn't know that you know them.
That they know.
Yeah, basically.
Well, I say, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Melbourne. You can just ask to do a certain to do some check or to do something. You do know that.
Yes, but on what?
You could do another history check if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. 16.
Give me a constitution saving throw.
Yep,
Was that a
that
nat
one.
one? What
Please
is
let me.
that? You essentially took
On history throws, I'm really good apparently. On constitution saving throws, nat
good.
ones.
So good. Well, this is going to get interesting because he's behaving so suspiciously. You try to desperately remember why he could know you, or if you could know him, or if someone you know could know him, or someone you knew could know him, or he could know someone you know, knew, whatever. And that's confusing as it is, but thinking back and thinking so hard, um, you seem to trigger something, and there's a young the picture of a very young and haughty looking um elf before your mind's eye. Same hair color as you, same eye color as you, basically looks like you. Um, could assume that this is a sibling of some sort or some close family. Um, he also, now that you think about it, looks a lot like the guy you saw last time you had to puke. Oh shit, and you're puking on his
Boots.
boots.
Yeah.
At least not in his helmet, puking on his shoes. And he goes, "Oh, bloody hell." 1 second. Bloody hell, Lucienne Talalbiel.
hmm I react not, if only because
You're still
my.
puking,
Yes,
basically.
because I'm still busy. I do notice it. And when I've sort of got myself under control again, I say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I take you somewhere and help you?"
Um, at this point, you've puked on a guard's feet.
Yeah.
The other guy well, they were first laughing, and you seem to be kind of trouble. And even if you're not trouble, they're annoyed at you. And the guy in front of you obviously has something to hide. And can you give me a dexterity saving throw? Or wait, you can pick dexterity or strength if you want.
Um, well, doesn't really matter. Dexterity.
Okay, then do two of those.
15 and 8.
Okay, so the one you can kind of, well, one of the guys, the one who took the halberd with the foof, um, he kind of tries to restrain you, and you manage to kind of shake him off. Um, but the guy on whose feet you just puked, Melvorn, whilst you're trying to shake off the other guy, he just manages to get both of your hands behind your back and clack clack.
Oh, lovely.
Well, you did want to go to the other side, didn't you? And kind of kicks off the sick. Well, I don't think there was much food left there anyways, but kicks off the sick kind of to the side and doesn't bother to put on the helmet again. Kind of just has that, gives that to one of his guys. Um, takes the halberd with one hand, takes you by the bound hands on your back with the other hand. Um, tells the others, well, keep it up. I'll get her, well, somewhere safe, I guess. And he kind of pushes you across the bridge.
For now, I just
Hmm.
go, if not willingly, then, well,
Do you turn around at all? Do you try and look at him?
yeah, I try and look
You
at him.
want to give me another insight check?
23.
Um, okay, he rolled a 9. So, um, just gonna say, he apparently is terrible at like deceiving people and like trying to keep his emotions in. Seems to be bad at that. And it's kind of obvious he's not holding you like a lot. He's kind of mostly got his hand on your bound hands because of the looks of things. He doesn't seem to be shoving you anywhere. He doesn't seem to be actually annoyed. He seems to be leading you somewhere. Yes. He has bound your hands, yes. But well, that could be to your safety. You don't know. And he is getting you where you want to go, at least right now. So
And he hasn't
also
taken any
he's
weapons or something from me, so for now,
absolutely nothing. He's just kind of, well, it seems like a kind of a trying to show, kind of a power move, kind of a, you know, and can you give
showing
me
off his
an,
captivating presence.
Yeah, can you give me another constitution? Or maybe a wisdom save this time.
15.
Okay. Well, you don't puke. Um, and basically what you have is it's not a memory, but it's a feeling of something that might have been a memory once. And if it is a memory, it's not yours, or it doesn't feel like it's yours anymore. Um, it's the shadow of two boys playing with swords in the courtyard, and you wanting to play as well, but the blonde boy not wanting you to join. And whenever the blonde boy goes away, the dark-haired one lets you play.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever the blonde boy is mean to you, the dark-haired one smiles, kind of sad, kind of kind. And the moment that memory is kind of, or those memories are kind of over, you've got a headache again. Damn it.
Yeah. Can I extrapolate from that memory that the dark-haired boy in the memory was Melvin? I mean, not every dark-haired elf in my memory has to be just the one dark-haired elf I met, but
I mean, it would make sense, right?
it would make
I
sense.
I wouldn't say that you can 100% say that, but in this situation, it certainly would make sense.
I have a strong guess.
Okay. So you just see where he leads you.
For now, yes, I stay alert because I am after all bound and I don't like this. But I
Okay.
follow, or rather, walk
Let
ahead.
him lead you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, once you've crossed the bridge, on the other side, there's also guards. Um, only two, and they're not wearing plate mail. They're just they're actually just wearing cloth mail. Like, do you know those reinforced cloth um
Mhm.
types of Renaissance um outfits? Like the
Sort
1960s
of.
something Romeo and Juliet version where they
Hmm.
essentially they're just wearing reinforced cloth. Um, looks a bit like a pillow. Um, and they're kind of wearing, pillow uniforms. Sounds ridiculous. And they're also wearing, if more manageable, but ceremonial foofs on their heads. I like that word so much. Well, they're wearing ceremonial foofs and they just kind of nod to Malvorn. Um, and no comment. It's just nodding to him. And he leads you well, down the street a little. Um, and you notice that the houses where it seemed very dark, not in a bad way dark on the other side. Um, the stonework is very light stone, sandstone, um, white stones, very fancy shit, essentially. Um, the buildings are higher, but it doesn't seem like there's more people. There's less people here, but it's fancier. It's like
Got it.
you are in a completely different city, essentially, but
Hmm.
you're not. Um, and he leads you down a street and then kind of looks around, pushes you in an alley, and follows you, looks around again if he's being followed. See, is it? He wouldn't know. Um, maybe he is. Who knows? That was a bad roll. He's not good at that. It was a four.
Lovely.
Yeah. So he kind of more, more as a gesture looks, pushes you further into the place. And you're almost walking past, and he kind of grabs you, opens the door to the side, and just moves into it with you. And this is a back door to a building. Seems like a townhouse, from the first thing you notice. Closes the door behind you, tells you, stay here, and quickly um, closes the, not curtains, but closes the shutters, and then moves his hand, and very obviously, you hear all the shutters close in the entire house. And at that point, locks the door and unlocks your wrists. Well, sorry about that.
It's okay, I guess. I just look at him expectantly.
Wait, you really don't remember?
I remember snippets.
That's big. The puking. That, oh shit.
And I have a
That,
headache.
well, they did a number on you, didn't they? Um, and give me 1 second. I do need to look something up. He does look out. He kind of does pick up again, a tonic, and kind of also hands you something, to clean your mouth with, and then it's like, well, if you finish that, there's some food, maybe an apple, I don't know, could help. What do I even look up? I'm very confused what to look up, but yes, got that. He seems, anyways, he seems to be preparing. He seems to be kind of shuffling some stuff together and seems to be preparing something. Um, Looks like he's preparing a spell.
I ask him what he's doing.
Uh, Spell, trying to, well, give me a second. Uh, do eat, well, feel like you're at home. Um, do, 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 do. Ah, okay. So he seems to have gotten everything together, and kind of, um, looks like there's some very fancy looking powder, um, and some more things, a scroll that, some things. And he kind of gestures for you to take a door, and I need to very quickly do a break. Sorry. And we're back. Um, yeah, where was I? He kind of gestures for you to kind of take a door, and you end up on a kind of a corridor. Um, has stairs going upstairs. There's other ways as well, but he kind of gestures upstairs.
I go upstairs.
Okay. And he kind of indicates in which direction you should go, and kind of tries to open. It's like, hey, could you? And you open the door, I assume, if he
Yeah.
shows. Um, and you walk into what looks like a mix. Well, it could be a study, but it could also be a small library. But it's got couches. It's very comfortable. It's not just wooden flooring. It's carpets, and it's very comfortable. And there is a cat snoozing on the windowsill that apparently got a little annoyed by
And the shutters.
the shutters closing, and is now looking even more annoyed because there's people. Ugh.
Hmm,
But he
relatable.
kind of gestures for you to maybe go inside. Goes, oh, you can sit on the couch. Just leave some space because I will need to as well. But well,
I sit on the couch.
okay. Yeah, one after the other. I shouldn't cast a spell on you and then ask if it's okay. So, is that so? Is it okay?
Well, that depends on the spell.
Well, greater restoration.
Okay.
Do you want the memory back or do you not?
When in doubt, yes.
Um, okay. So he starts mumbling and he's like, well, sorry, I do have to kind of touch you for that because it's a touch spell. So, and
Go
he
ahead.
touches you at your shoulder, on your shoulder, and has the powder in his hand, and starts mumbling an incantation, and trying to figure out if there's any. Nope. Fifth level abjuration, one action, touch, VSM, instantaneous. Okay, basically what's happening is you imbue a creature you touch with positive energy to undo a debilitating effect. Um, you can reduce the target's exhaustion level by one or end one of the following effects on the target. One effect that charmed or petrified the target, one curse, including the target's attunement to a cursed magic item, any reduction to the target's ability scores, one effect reducing the target's hit point maximum. So basically, one effect that charmed the target, or yeah, or curse. It could be both. Um, I did Google. It does function for this. Um, Basically, as he's mumbling, you can feel like in your head, there's been a lot of doors not just closed, but just shut close and nailed shut. And it feels like someone or something is using a crowbar lo to get those open. And they're not just unlocked or free suddenly, but they're all very suddenly, all at the same time, burst open. And, well, wisdom saving throw, maybe? Again,
Yeah,
not a negative thing in this case, but still a lot.
11.
Okay, so it does knock you out again. And it's that type of thing where you're knocked out because there's just too much. It's such a flood of everything showing up in your head, and it's so much. And you can hear the a little girl crying, and it seems to be you, and a little boy making fun of the little girl for crying, and suddenly you have a handkerchief in your hand, and then your father's screaming at you and telling you that you're, well, almost as useless as your mother, and she's dead, um, and that you're never going to be your brother, even though he's an idiot. And all of those things happen at the same time, and all of those years, 100 years or more, seem to happen at the same time to you. And yeah, it's just lights out at this point.
Yeah.
And at this
Well,
point, you can decide, do we keep going or do we continue next time?
I would say continue next time because that's a good,
Cut-off point.
no,
Yes.
cutoff point. Interesting.
Okay.
Do
You've
I
got your
see
memories
another Star
back.
Trek reference?
What? Where?
The motion picture, Vija, Spark, mind melt, knocked out because of too much information at once.
No, no, that's well, yes, but no. I didn't think of that.
No,
But
I know.
the fact of the matter is that, it just logical. If
Hmm.
there's too much and
No,
you've already been fucked with that day, it's a lot. And
no,
you
I
you
know. I
would
absolutely agree. It was the logical thing to happen.
yeah. Okay, you do know your name now, and starting next time you do know who you are. Yay.
That's something.
But you don't know, like, I mean, you would know at this point, I think, why you don't know anymore. And I think also as you're passing out, as the character's passing out, um, she's remembering, wait, it's kind of poetic that the guy who took your memories is giving them back.
Ooh,
And that's really where I'm ending that. But
that's a good cliffhanger.
yeah, yeah. Any questions that we should give people answers to?
That I know of, no.
So you don't have any questions.
No.
Okay.
Well, I probably could have questions, but not.
Yeah. Ah, okay. By the way, you're from Peli. So that's the city I named.
Well,
Just figured that out just now. But yeah, I really still need to read stuff for uni. Great. Um,
the flash of reality creeping back in.
running here from work and then having to go to uni tomorrow. I don't like it. Well, I've
No, but this
done
was something. And I
well.
mean that in a positive way.
Oh, okay. Thanks, I think. But yeah, um, I guess whoever is listening, watching, laughing at us being idiots. Um, you will hear me on Thursday. You'll see Klara whenever. Don't know. Probably,
To be determined.
yeah, a bit. But yeah, I think we're gonna continue with this in this place, possibly, or in a similar place. But yeah, I've got a character to build now because
Yeah.
that guy was improvised. And
Well,
yeah,
stay tuned to
well,
find out more,
I will as
as
well.
we all will do.